so fast, Legionnaire. None shall pass this gate without the express authorization of the wise and beneficent Meisters of Stonebridge.
We're going to the crypts of the Sacred Blood, at Meister Mudgutter's request.
I see. More soldiers of fortune to clean up the crypts of the Sacred Blood. I was instructed to let you pass. It must be very pleasant in the crypts. Everyone who has entered them decides to stay there permanently.
Sorry, my friends, the foundry is closed for an undefined amount of time. We do regret any inconvenience this may cause.
Meister Castle told us that your Cyclops workers have taken over the foundry.
The Cyclopses have gone mad. They've killed a few of our foremen, and the gears of the foundry have stopped. We spotted goblin agitators inside as well. And if that wasn't enough, the fire elementals that power our furnaces have gotten loose.
I need to ask you a few questions before I go inside.
Of course, anything. Just ask.
Do you have any idea why your workers would take over the foundry?
The Night Foreman? The man in charge when this uprising began? I'm afraid he's dead. All our efforts have gone into evacuating the wounded and making sure the Cyclopses don't escape into the city. We're short on facts.
How exactly did these Cyclopses get into the foundry in the first place?
Oh, they've been here for years. And in all this time, they've tirelessly tended the foundry without complaint or commotion. This caught us all by surprise. One moment they were working peacefully, the next, wanton violence.
These goblin agitators you mentioned, do you know who hired them, or what their plan is?
They wore no official heraldry and made no statements of allegiance. We give tours of the foundry. I'm sure that's how they got in. The Cyclopses haven't killed them, so for all we know, they're working together. Perhaps they incited this madness.
We're ready to help. What would you have us do?
Our attempts to parley have ended in bloodshed. You'll need to pacify them by force. I don't want the Cyclopses eliminated. I just want them to go back to work. So find their leader and humble him. The sooner the foundry is back in operation, the better. If you can restart any of the gear works below, that would also be a great help.
Now this should be a challenge. probably stating the obvious, but let's avoid those burning grates.
Please help. The Cyclopses have gone mad. They locked us in here and dragged my men off to Azanai knows what awful fate.
I'll free your men. Do you know where they were taken?
The Cyclopses took them. Over there, past the fire grates, on the other side of the chamber. I don't know what they're planning, but those two are like brothers to me. Please, will you help them? Did you find my men? Are they all right?
No.
Please hurry.
Saints bless him. I knew Olbert would send someone for me. Thank you, stranger. Now, I'm gonna make a run for it while I still can.
guy was a goner for sure. I need to get to the surface and let my family know that I'm not dead. I owe you one, Legionnaire.
So you are the ones who fight for the Iron Pumpkin Dogs. This boundary is ours now. Never be slaves again.
The other Cyclopses attacked us on sight. We had to defend ourselves.
You took the side of the bosses. You want to enslave us, to make us work without pay, just like the paper says.
Slavery is quite a charge. They said you've been working peacefully for years.
We worked for free because we didn't know better. Then I read from the paper, and I shared its words with my kin.
What paper are you talking about?
An old man gave the paper to me. He called it a manifesto. He said we deserve a better life. We have the right to refuse to work, to demand better pay.
If you tell your brothers to stand down, we'll talk to Meister Castle.
I will trust you to go to the Ironmongers, to decide how best to end this fight. It is only by your mercy that we live. We will accept whatever judgments you make.
Why doesn't anyone listen to reason before we beat them half to death?
Surely you must be joking, Meister Fiddlewick. I shall not reward the slaying of my guild members with salaries and contracts. If these beasts weren't vital to the operation of the foundry, I'd charge every one of them with murder, and they could all go to the gallows.
Funny that you mention legal action. Last I recall, slavery was a criminal offense in Stonebridge. Shall we take this matter to the courts?
You weren't honest with me, Meister Castle. The Cyclopses didn't go mad. They were fighting for their rights.
What are you talking about? The Cyclopses turned violent and killed my people without provocation. Is that what they told you? That this was a work strike? I'd say you've been misled.
The Cyclopses agreed to stop fighting if I speak to you on their behalf.
You... what? What nonsense is this?
Meister Castle is an endless font of courtesy and grace. Go ahead. Thank the Legion for saving your lives.
Yes, thank you for ending the violence. But what do you mean you speak for them? Those beasts are making demands?
The Cyclopses have a manifesto of demands. They want better treatment from now on.
A manifesto? What kind of nonsense is that?
An old man gave it to them. Do you know anyone with a grudge against your guild?
An old man? The dapper old gent, no doubt. When Wolf hears about this, he's going to give me the "I told you so" of a lifetime.
The foundry needs to reopen one way or another. I speak for the Cyclopses, so whatever I say, they will honor.
Well, then something good came of all this violence. My good Legionnaire, tell the Cyclopses that they may resume work as salaried employees.
Shut your goblin spout. They agreed long ago to servitude as payment for their crimes. They cannot just ignore a contract.
Meister Fiddlewick, you clearly favor the Cyclopses. I'd like to hear your side of the argument.
For years, this city has flourished, largely at the expense of the Cyclopses, slaving away in the foundry. Castle used you. He told you the Cyclopses had gone mad so you would enforce his profit margin. Why do you think he lied to you? There is nothing subtle about my argument. The Cyclopses are thinking, reasoning beings and should not be slaves to any man or goblin.
Meister Castle, you said the Cyclopses agreed to servitude?
Years ago, long before the Legion fell, a tribe of Cyclopses wandered down from the mountains and raided the town. At great cost, the people of Stonebridge bested them. Their chieftain agreed to a lifetime of servitude to spare his people from the noose. Yes, I profit from their work, but so does the whole city. A contract is a contract. We can't ignore rules and law.
I've heard enough. I'm ready to decide.
My hands are tied. The Cyclopses will listen to you and you alone now that you've beaten them. I pray you make the right choice.
And I, for one, respect the old tradition of letting the Legion be the mediators of best resort. I know you will choose rightly.
The Cyclopses acted in self-defense. They must be given fair wages and treated with respect.
What? Nonsense! The Cyclopses are bound by an agreement. If you wanted my vote, you just lost it. Bah! Tell them I will negotiate their wages. This decision is foolish, but I won't have the Cyclopses leave. The city needs them.
He'll calm down eventually. But you have my thanks, and I pledge my vote to you when the time comes.
Did you find my men? Are they all right?
Yes, they're safe.
They are? Hazanai bless you, and all the saints as well.
I didn't help you for a reward, but if you mentioned this to Castle, we'd appreciate it.
Your generosity knows no bounds, my friend. I'll tell Castle, and I'll raise a glass in your honor next time I'm drinking with my mates.